Splash Mountain self-canceled. I knew this was coming too. I talked about it on the radio. Splash Mountain self-canceled. Disney's water ride, Splash Mountain. So, Splash Mountain is a weird one. I'm not so against Splash Mountain self-canceling. Last time I rode Splash Mountain, I was looking around at Brer Rabbit running away from Brer Fox and Brer Bear, and I was going, it's really weird that this is all still here. I was listening to the songs from the film Song of the South pumping through my ears, and I was like, yeah, this is weird. It's kind of like the same feeling when you would go to the store and you'd get a bottle of Aunt Jemima syrup, and if you took any time to think about it, you'd go, this is weird that this is still happening. This is odd. I kind of started getting that feeling when I was riding Splash Mountain. Like, yeah? We're still doing this? Okay. I mean, Splash Mountain to me has always been a bizarre one because, so Splash Mountain doesn't technically, like, it doesn't show Uncle Remus. Uncle Remus is the title character from Song of the South. Song of the South is a Disney film that was made, when was it? I wrote it down. 1946. Song of the South was made. And Uncle Remus is the star in it and is based on some stories from like 1881 about the South. And it's a very racist portrayal of a black man, Uncle Remus is. I mean, it's very offensive to the point where Disney, it was offensive. I mean, technically, it was offensive by 1946 terms because there are all these stories of like, even though it got great reviews, it did excellent at the box office, and it won an Oscar for Best Song that year. There are stories of black writers being brought into the room to just go like, what do you think of this character? And they were like, it's pretty racist. And they were like, that's why we don't have any of you on staff. You got to get out of here. You know, like they weren't trying to hear that in 1946. No. But by 1986, 40 years later, it only took 40 years, but by 1986, they had figured it out. And if you are racist by 1986 standards, I can't believe that there would even be a hint of you left in 2020. And I say racist by 1986 standards and that they had figured it out because in 1986 is when it was released in theaters for the last time. In 1986, Disney put Song of the South out for its 40th anniversary. And, I mean, this was a movie they were proud of. You know, they had put this out in theaters multiple times. This was before home video was big. So, you know, you would re-release a movie if you wanted more people to see it. They wanted everybody to see it. But 1986 it came out, and 1986 is when they learned their lesson. And Michael Eisner, I think, was the CEO of Disney at the time. And he said, Song of the South is going in the vault. He didn't Jenna Marbles himself and go like, we're going to destroy Disney. We're going to shut down the company because Song of the South is not pleasant. But he did say, we're going to hit the private button on Song of the South. They put it in the Disney Vault. And for literally every other Disney movie, the Disney Vault is simply a marketing campaign. It's when they used to release movies on home video for only a certain period of time, and then they would take them off the shelves. That way, in a couple years, they could put them back on the shelves. Doesn't work so much digitally anymore, but it is a brilliant marketing campaign. And it's why some of the Disney VHS tapes are worth so much money. But Disney put Song of the South in the vault in 1986 and never took it out. So Disney never released the film on home video. But to this day, people sing Zippity Doo-Dah. To be fair, Zippity Doo-Dah is maybe the catchiest song of all time. And if you're ignoring the origin of it, I don't see how it's not going to get stuck in your head. Plus, it's as pleasant a song as you could get. Plenty of sunshine. It's a wonderful day. Mr. Bluebird's on my shoulder. Yeah, so many. It's all good. It's all good. As long as you don't, that's one of those things that you want to remove context from entirely. Don't worry about the context of where the song came from. Just enjoy the song for what it is and keep it moving. But 1986, that movie goes into the vault. However, at that point, they were already working on Splash Mountain to open it up in Disney. And they go, well, should we stop? They go, stop? We're not going to stop. So 3 years after Song of the South goes into the vault, Splash Mountain comes out. And while Splash Mountain doesn't have any direct reference to Song of the South, well, there are definitely direct references to Song of the South, but it doesn't say, like, the Song of the South Splash Mountain. The title of the movie is never mentioned. And the character, the offensive character, Uncle Remus, never mentioned. Not part of the ride at all. But the characters, the landscapes, the ambiance, the songs, they're all from this movie. And when you're in Disney and there are things that are themed, you're not sitting there going like, what movie is this? You know what I mean? It's pretty heavily branded. You're not on the Dumbo ride going like, what is this, an elephant from Pinocchio or something? You know exactly what you're on. So it's always been weird to me that the movie that they don't want to acknowledge is memorialized in one of their most popular rides. Disney said, though, last year we decided, I think either last year or beginning of this year, I think it was last year. They said, like, last year we decided we're going to change the theme of Splash Mountain. So, you know, it just happens. I'm like, you decided that last year. They're like, yeah, we decided last year. It has nothing to do with what's going on right now. So you're not just terrified right now and you're worried that people are going to cancel you just as you're coming back from Corona and you're hurting financially. No. We're not scared of that. No. It's not a cancellation thing. We're just letting you know that before we were going to change that. So we're just telling you now. We didn't tell you then, but we're telling you now. They're changing the ride to be centered around The Princess and the Frog, which is a 2009 cartoon that Disney put out. I've never seen it because it came out in 2009, and I'm a grown-ass man. So I'm not watching Disney cartoons in 2009. That would be creepy. I'll ask Chris D'Elia what he thought of it. But I didn't see it, you know. I didn't have any dates that wanted to see it. So I actually am not against this, to tell you the truth. While, you know, I'm not sitting there going, like, the ride's been up for 30 years. The ride's been up for 30 years. We know where it's from. We know it's super weird that it's up. At this point, you know how you go, you can only judge a person by what they're doing today? It's up today. Like, you're like, at this point, it's still up. Like, if you weren't outraged about it when it opened in 1989, if you didn't get outraged about it in 1999, if you didn't get outraged about it in 2009, and if you weren't outraged about it a year ago in 2019, if you're just waking up to it today and you're over the age of 20, if you're over the age of 18, if you're an adult and you're now just going like, well, this needs to change, where the hell have you been? You know, where the hell have you been? Because I've looked at that ride and gone like, yeah, I'm getting Aunt Jemima vibes from this ride. This is weird that it's still here. This is the type of stuff that companies try to erase. I did, however, I did find that when I saw that the theme, it's like a voodoo movie in New Orleans and all this stuff going on, I'm actually pretty optimistic. I think the ride might be a lot better. You're not going to see a dumb cartoon rabbit running around, and then we have to go down into a briar patch or something like that. You know, you're still going to have the exact same ride. You're still going to go down real fast, and then a splash is going to come over you. It's just maybe there'll be a voodoo guy and some good New Orleans music playing, some jazz music playing. So I'm really not mad about that. I don't mind that one so much. It could actually be for the betterment of everybody. The serial killer saying, don't fold to the mob, Sam. I'm not folding to the mob. I don't even know if there is a mob. That's the thing about this self-cancellation stuff. That's what's so fascinating about self-cancellation is it's people trying to get ahead of the mob because they're so scared of being canceled. And like, are people asking for this? Does this really need to happen? You know, does Jenna Marbles really need to quit YouTube? Is that a thing? Do the Dixie Chicks, does anybody care what their name is? I don't think so. Is Disney going to get affected one iota by the fact that Splash Mountain is Splash Mountain the way it's always been? No, it's really not. I'm saying I'm not going to go to Disney and be like, this was supposed to be, a Brer Rabbit was supposed to be in here, and now it's Princess and the Frog. This is political correctness run amok. It's still going to be, you know, a ride, and it's going to be like, oh, cool. I've ridden this thing 100 times. Now I can ride it as something else. I'm fine with that, you know. This is like if they change the Tower of Terror in Florida like they did in California, to be Guardians of the Galaxy Tower of Terror, then I'd be pissed because I love Tower of Terror. But I mean, Splash Mountain, it's like, what are you losing here? All right. We'll give you this one. Fine.